Welcome back, Nicolange's comic. Not Nicolange's comic. My mistake. Boruto anime review. This is episode 7, and reviewing the 7th episode of Boruto. Naruto Next Generations. Love and potato chips. Now, I kind of thought a lot of people thought this was going to be a focus episode on Chocho. It actually wasn't. That was actually a complete lie. This episode had very little to do with Chocho. Yeah, she was in a good chunk of she was in pretty much the entire episode, but yeah, it was not a focus on her at all. Nope. Well, a little bit anyways. I mean, she got a bit of a character development. And also, finally, 5 episodes after this girl's debut, the purple hair girl, finally found out her name. Sumari. That's her name. Sumari. We waited 5 episodes after her debut for this to be revealed. Okay, fine. Yeah, but a lot of people still call her class if her name is Simmery. Okay. And apparently there's this guy who was stalking him in the episode. Yeah, and Chocho thought that the guy was stalking her when he was actually stalking Simmery, which he has a thing for. Okay? Yeah, and he tells her, like, yeah, she'll forget the stalking if he tells Simmery how he feels. And he tries to, but she rejects him. And that's how apparently he gets the whole the dark chakra stuff in him. And this guy is like pretty ingenious. I mean, he doesn't go on a rampage, surprisingly. He just goes nuts. I mean, first it's like he writes on the blackboard. Yeah, Shino was in the episode as well, except he's only in one scene. No, seriously, he's in one scene. In the 7 episodes that have aired so far, Shino generally appeared in a good chunk of most of these episodes. This one he only appears for just seems like almost like a cameo. And also when and then after class they had paper falling, which apparently he took the time to basically empty an entire notebook of paper to write all this stuff down and dump it out it's kind of like what's a good example? Oh yeah, kind of like when Donald Trump dumped a bunch of money on the audience of Monday Night Raw. It's kind of like that, dumping a bunch of paper. MVP did that too on SmackDown. Yeah, I used to watch wrestling, so yeah. Not on regular. I used to watch regular basis, but not anymore. Yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, he wrote stuff like, "Oh, Simmer, I love you," or "Simmer, you look cute." Really weird. And then he starts. Now, this is something quite interesting that I have never seen this in the show. This is like something but different from this episode. It's kind of like for one scene, it's kind of like they changed camera. It's like they either changed directors or camera work because it's like it's like the episode becomes a bit more tense. Like, okay, they're walking to the school looking for the guy. I don't exactly know his name. Apparently, he's from the class. According to Chocho, he's from the class next door. Okay, fine. And apparently, Boruto, Shikai, Misuke, Sada, and Chocho walk around with Sumari. Sumari, that's her name. They just go look for him. Excuse me. They're going to stop doing what he's doing. And then they get separated via a sort of like a garage door. Which, yeah, they also used this in episode, I believe it was episode 3, I think it was. It was the episode where everybody show off all their jutsu. Yeah, it was that very same episode. So it's like the guy kind of know about this little lockdown type of thing for this one door. And apparently the thing goes off as soon as all the guys are through this one particular way and basically cutting off the guys from the girls. And they go high, and the girls go like, okay, so they can't get to the door, so they all go hide in the prep room, which somehow the guy the guy has a disguise jutsu. Kalab goes in. Basically, he's like the invisible man. He just goes invisible and he knocks down a box of smoke bombs. No, seriously, that's what he does. He knocks down, in order to scare the girls, when they're in the ninja prep room, he knocks down a box of smoke balls that are sitting on a shelf that is probably about 2 or 3 shelves higher than Shimmery. And then She opens the door, get all the smoke out because pretty much that whole box got pretty much lit, and she gets out and Dekai, first time I've seen this character in 2 episodes. Yeah, because he was absent the previous 2 episodes for some strange reason. I don't know why he was absent for. And he's only seen in this one scene, and he gets knocked out. He talks for some reason for a little bit, and he gets knocked out by whoever this guy is. I don't remember his name. And apparently also kind of looks like they changed the camera work for it. It's like, okay, it becomes very intense. It's kind of similar to camera work they use for the films, for the Naruto films, and some of the other. Also seems similar to what they use for Bleach. Yeah, it's parrots, so obviously they probably used that particular camera work for this particular episode. It's like very intense. Get a little close up on Shimmery's face. Yeah, it's a bit shaky. But yeah, I had to note that it's kind of like they changed the camera work for this episode for one scene. I mean, they went back to the regular camera, almost like either that or they changed directors for this episode. And then they get chased to the roof, and yeah, and of course he basically. Now the way this guy is written in this particular scene. When I saw this, his dialogue, it's very similar to the main villain of the last. No, seriously, he's written to be very similar to him, and Shimmery has a similar style of dialogue in this scene, similar but not exact. But it mirrors what the guy was doing, what the main villain was doing in the last to Hinata. Yeah, and it's a bit bizarre. That could explain why his dialogue looked very similar. But yeah, then he gets defeated. Not by getting knocked out, surprisingly. Cho basically just talks to him using potato chips. Yeah, and they become friends. And then of course, he gets knocked out, and apparently it's happening all over the village. People have been dropping around the village like flies. Yeah, I'm like, okay, this comes completely out of nowhere. I mean, it's not only happens to the guy who was possessed by the dark chakra, but also like parts of the village are getting this. Okay, this is that's really much it. Basically, when Shikai does know about Boruto's eye. And then later on he sees him again. He's got the dark chakra in him. And later on the episode ends with simply, kind of ends. So last time you see Boruto, Shikai, and Mitsuke. Mitsuke did almost nothing in this episode. Yeah, he was like completely useless. Sadara did a little bit in the episode. It's kind of like the only characters who were not Naruto who actually got a good amount of chances to do something to do in this episode is, of course, Boruto, Cho, and I think that's it. Shimmery got a little bit of development where it had a obsessed stalker with Angle. Yeah, but besides that, okay, but nothing really much else. But yeah, that's really much it for this episode. So basically, this episode, even though it feels kind of very bit. So next week's episode is Message of the Dream, which apparently it's going to involve basically Hinata returning to the series, first time in a few episodes, and of course Naruto at home. First time we get a chance to see the Uzumaki house, first time since episode 3. Yeah, first time since episode 3 you get a chance to see the Uzumaki house. So it's nice. Yeah, and there's nobody from the previous generation in this episode aside from Shino. And of course, Naruto and Shikamaru. Aside from those 3, nobody else. And they only appear for Naruto and Shikamaru only appear for about I'd say 5 minutes. And that's really this episode. It's just filler with also advancing the main plot of the series. But next week's episode is basically advancing the plot of the series. Okay? So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for next week's episode, which is episode 8, Message of the Dream. Okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.